Hello world, it's Birdo Prey 5, Qapla, and welcome to my review for Star Trek Discovery, Season 4, Episode 7, But to Connect. And that is ... but to connect. Why? I don't know. This is a feelings episode. This is an episode where finally the computer, Zora, who has been gaining sentience all along, and by the way, that has been sentient all along, finally realizes that, hey, I'm sentient and I can have a different opinion now. And it's finally the episode where she finally decides, hey, I don't agree with Michael Burnham. I don't agree with Starfleet. So I'm going to actually do something different. And we knew this was coming. I mean, anybody with two brain cells rubbed together understands this can't be allowed to happen. I mean, from the early days of TNG, they talked about, well, what if the Enterprise computer decided not to follow a command? And they're like, well, yeah, you can't have that. That could not be allowed to happen. And yet it was allowed to happen. They got all the way to the point where the computer decided, hey, just because I have the answer for you, I don't know that I necessarily want to give you the answer because, war. And so the Zora, who already had a name, was already been developing emotions, and nobody seemed to be worried about. It's only today that she finally says, I don't think you want, I have the answer, but I don't think you want the answer. Actually, I know you want the answer, but I don't want to give you the answer because I know what you're going to do with it. So I'm just not going to give you the answer. So go F yourself. Now it's a problem. As if nobody saw this coming a week ago, a month ago, a year ago. They've been in the future over a year. I think we're coming up on 2 years at this point. And Admiral Vance of Vance Refrigeration, Dr. Kovich, who we find out this episode has a background in AI. Well, I guess we figured that because of Control, but he explicitly states it this time. Apparently only now has it become their concern because Zora doesn't want to do the math or whatever, give the answer. But we'll get there. We'll get there. It's also feelings on Gray and Adira, because it's always a Gray and Adira feelings episode. We also get some feelings on Dr. Culber being the ship's therapist, because of course we need a reminder of that every episode this season, just in case we forgot. And Stamets, of course, this is a big Stamets episode. And I'll be honest, this is a great episode for Stamets because Stamets is actually playing the voice of reason. Guess who's back? Mr. Takra, the scientist who had been one of the other scientists that had been forced to work for Osira from the Emerald Chain. And now he's the smartest scientist in the galaxy, apparently. He was on a few episodes ago, and he saw the dark matter anomaly, the DMA, up close, and now he's already, within a week or two, created this giant weapon that he knows can destroy the DMA and get him the sweet, sweet power source at its core, undamaged, and we find out secretly from him talking with Book's like, look, listen, what do you want out of all this? It's clear that there's more to you than just wanting to help rid the galaxy of the DMA. So what is it you're getting out of this? And the guy finally comes out and basically confesses that he's, we'll get to it. But let's say he confesses, and as part of this confession, we find out that, hey, he's not a straight white guy after all. That's why he's been allowed to live. He's got a partner or a special friend of some type that's waiting for him somewhere. And obviously, you don't go around using the word partner or friend when it's a woman. So I don't know if it's a guy or if it's a space alien, if it's a computer, if it's a robot. It could be anything, but what it is not is a humanoid woman alien. That's clearly not what she is. It's surely a he or a otherwise non-binary person or machine. But it's not. He's clearly not straight white guy, or he would have been killed with all the other straight white men after one episode. So the mystery that we thought he was the exception, not the rule. No, he continues to be the rule. No exceptions in Discovery for white guys being killed off, except perhaps Admiral Vance of Vance Refrigeration. I really thought he was gay, but we saw him with a woman, so who knows? Okay, so here's how we're going to do this. This has just been a plethora of ridiculous sayings this episode, ridiculous clips. So we're just going to go through them one by one. I will play them, and then I will do my best to try to not explode after we watch. So let's start with we'll start with the beginning, and Zora just refusing to give coordinates.
I've determined the coordinates of the unknown species responsible for the DMA.
That is great. Thank you. What's the problem, then?
I've decided to keep that information to myself, Captain.
Give us the coordinates. That's an order.
I'm sorry, Captain. I will not.
They want the coordinates. Now, there was this whole big thing before this started that they had over 147 possible starting coordinates. Apparently, Zora was able to, in a few seconds, wipe out the 147 and get it to just one actual working coordinate. They didn't give any hint that that was going to be even a possibility, but fine. So now Zora has the end-all actual answer to where species 10C exists. And 10C is the dumbest name I ever heard. That was a name given to them by Starfleet. So where is 10C? Zora knows, and Zora says, you know what, it's better I don't tell you, because you have a history of just flying where I tell you coordinates, and you'll probably get your asses kicked. Now, maybe Zora is saying, and I don't want to die, but she doesn't go that far. Whatever, Zora. This whole episode is going to be to undo this one scene. But another thing going on is that the Federation has invited the heads of all the other planets that they've got contact with to Starfleet headquarters, either live in person or 2021 virtually. You can call in as you can any good meeting, and it's in this giant hall of looked like 100 floors all around the central cutout circle, and it's like literally the Federation, Earth, Navarre, which is Vulcan, Trill, and all the planets we know. They're at the top level, and then the bottom level, the next level down, is for like the secondary species that we've seen, like Morn's people, random Cardassians. They're one level down, and then basically as you go down level to level, they get further and further apart from main Federation worlds. Like we see Ferengi, I believe, on the first or second level, or Orions are on the first or second level, and as you get further down, the species get less and less easier to identify. But guess what species is not seen at all? Not on the first, not on the second, not on the third, not in this episode, where they purposely show us every fucking species they've ever done. Klingons. There are still no effing Klingons. So either the Klingons have literally gone extinct and no one has said a fucking word about them, or they are literally in jail or in prison and not to be spoken of because they don't know what they're supposed to look like yet. And that is my guess, is that we don't know, they don't know what Klingons need to look like yet. So they have to not bring Klingons up, because God help them if they look like Klingorks from Discovery, but God help them if they look like TNG DS9 Klingons, like they did in Picard, because Worf was shown in Picard, because then that's a failure. That's admitting that they failed. So how much longer can they go without showing us a Klingon? We'll see. But here's another thing. Watch this. Watch this flip.
You want them back in the Federation?
Earth was my mother's ancestral home. She never got to see it. And like Navarre, it would mean a lot to bring another founding member back into the fold. So, yes, I would like that very much.
That is Michael Burnham asking the Federation president if she wants to bring Earth back into the Federation. And she's like, yeah, because, my mother was human. Your mother was human? What about the fact that Earth is the founding member of the Federation? It'd be nice to bring back a founding member like Navarre. Fuck Navarre. Navarre didn't even fucking exist. Navarre didn't found the Federation. It was Vulcan. Okay? It was Vulcan, and they were not the founding member. They were a founding member. Earth founded the fucking Federation. The Federation would have existed with or without Vulcan. Fuck them. They didn't need to be there. The Federation would have gone on with or without Vulcan. Earth was the only required species to be in the Federation. There would have been no Federation without Earth. You're goddamn right. Your first and only fucking goal should be bringing Earth into the Federation. How the Federation even exists? How does Starfleet even exist without a fucking planet like Earth behind them? They're just in a fucking space station. They have no fucking power. They have no great planet to turn to in times of crisis. They have zero power, realistically. without a planet like Earth behind them. It is insulting. Fucking insulting. For Michael Burnham, who is fucking human, to say, oh, you'd like to bring Earth back in. No fucking shit, Michael. And this fucking president, she's like, yeah, I would like to bring Earth in, because you know what? Earth is the Federation. 60-member world strong, but without Earth, it's nothing. I don't know. Of course. Yes, we want Earth back in the Federation. Oh, here. Watch what they say here.
Our views don't always align, but the safety of our shared galaxy is paramount. The scope of...
You get it? Paramount, because of Paramount Plus. Yeah. I see what they did there. So, while this whole hearing is going on the Federation and trying to give them all a chance to vote on how they want to deal with the space anomaly, Dr. Kovich is on Discovery because Zora is having her emotional meltdown, and Dr. Kovich is their AI expert, and he's got his stuff he's got to do, and he is no doubt having what has to be considered a top secret, very classified, very sensitive meeting of Dr. Kovich, Captain Saru, and Zora, and Stamets. 4 beings, okay? If you count Zora as a person or entity, 4 beings, and that's it, okay? No one else should be there. And yet, what happens? Gray and Adira come running through the door. A fucking civilian, a 16 or 17-year-old civilian, and a cadet. A civilian and a cadet come running through the door and say, wait. We want to help. We want to speak on behalf of Zora. Who the fuck are you? Get the fuck out. Saru should have stood up and said, get the fuck out. Get off this fucking deck. Why the fuck are you here? And you, civilian, get the fuck off the ship. Bye. Done. Gone. No, what the fuck? What the fuck? No! You don't let civilians and their 15, 16-year-old boyfriends, girlfriends, whatever the fucks they are, on the ship to go to secret, clandestine meetings to talk about top secret shit. No! And you can't just run in and talk on behalf. No! How does this happen? And then Dr. Kovich isn't like, get them the hell out of here. Instead, Dr. Kovich's like, yeah, the more the merrier. Fuck, come on in. Oh, they're killing Dr. Kovich. Dr. Kovich was one good character.
Zora, we want to help.
Sir, we want to speak on her behalf.
Thank you both, but it's going to be all right. I believe I have a solution.
Please share it with us, Zora.
I'd never bring harm to any of you. I understand why you'd...
One good character, and they're making him an idiot this episode. And he's not the biggest idiot yet. They will make him a bigger idiot. But the fact Dr. Kovich lets them in and lets them be part of this meeting, oh, it hurts. It fucking hurts. Back back at the meeting going on, this ridiculous meeting going on at Starfleet now, the president of Navarre has this to say.
I respectfully disagree. Our shield technology could provide protection during a non-aggressive first contact.
And if they respond with aggression themselves?
Did you hear it? Our shield technology could provide protection during a non-aggressive first contact. Our shield technology could provide protection against a non-aggressive first contact. What the fuck does that even mean? Why would you need shields if it was non-aggressive? I can provide protection in a non-aggressive first contact, and I can't fucking get a bed. Here. Stay the fuck away. What the fuck? Why do you need shields if it's non-aggressive? What the fuck technology your shield's made out of if it can't provide protection against an aggressive first contact? Who needs protection during a non-aggressive first contact? Oh my God. It hurts. It makes me hurt. It makes my heart hurt. It makes all of me hurt. My brain mostly. Non-aggressive shields. Shields for non-aggressive first contact. What? Who wrote this shit? And here we get in the next one. And here we get in the next ridiculous statement. Well, it's not the statement's ridiculous, just the surprise that Mr. Takra isn't straight, which is fine. But this is, what is this? The 8th or 9th gay or LGBTQT plus character in the show. So, I mean, it's seemingly overrepresented. But fine, whatever. It doesn't take away. He's still a good character, but we find out about him and his friend.
There are countless parallel universes, each with its own quantum signature. He knew of one. No war, no burn, no emerald chain. A place where we could be free and at peace.
Who's we?
A friend.
So yeah. So there we go. If you had any doubt, it's clear he's not straight. I don't know what he is. Doesn't matter, I guess. But for anyone who had previously used him, and I know some people in comments said, "Oh, straight white guy didn't get killed," and true. But now I think we're all officially been put on notice. No longer straight. Not the biggest of deals, but no longer straight. Okay, so back on Discovery, Stamets has been just arguing away at the fact that Zora having emotions and having access to all the systems, that it's this terrible thing. And Stamets was correct. Stamets has been correct this entire time. And apparently from Dr. Kovich, we had also learned that it is against Starfleet regulations to have a sentient AI be part of the starship. So I guess they did come to that at some point, and they decided, yeah, this is a bad bad fucking idea. But apparently Stamets delivered such a heartfelt plea to Zora that Zora decided that she was going to share the coordinates after all. Here's that.
Thank you, Commander, for reaching toward me.
What are those?
The coordinates.
Is Gray the world's dumbest Trill? Gray has to be the galaxy's dumbest Trill, because even I realized those were coordinates. Now, grant you, they are the dumbest coordinates I've ever fucking seen. Just look at them. What the fuck does that even mean? No one fucking knows. But I knew they were coordinates. You knew she was giving you coordinates. The whole entire reason you're there is to get fucking coordinates. And then she puts numbers on the screen, and you gotta ask, oh, what's that? You schmuck, they're coordinates. You are not a credit to your race, Gray. You are the dumbest fucking Trill I have ever fucking seen. Congratulations. Anyway. Oh, I would say they saved the best for last, but this isn't the last per se, but this is by far the biggest. So, Stamets comes in and is talking with Kovich, and he's got a recommendation, and it turns out that, well, here, you can watch.
Before you decide anything, might I offer a recommendation?
Of course. However, my evaluation is now complete. It's my official determination that Zora is indeed a new life form.
It feels marvelous.
What does?
Being seen.
Okay, so it turns out Zora is not an AI. Zora is just an I. She's a new intelligence. And honestly, the show wasn't terrible in this regard. This episode, they almost made a sci-fi highbrow Star Trek-like show in using Zora to challenge to us what life is. And if they hadn't been beating us across the face with the Adira and Gray and Stamets and Dr. Kober plot lines that are the all LGBTQ plot line, especially Adira and Gray, had they not been beating that into us, like making our face bloody, then I'd say they almost came close to teaching us a lesson about just being seen, about what it would mean to somebody to just be accepted for who they are. They came dangerously close to making a good Star Trek, I wouldn't say episode, but at least a good Star Trek plot line in this episode based on Zora. To the point that I'm going to give them a couple of points for trying. And had these writers been the writers all season, maybe they might have had something to work with. But for a single episode, unfortunately, think it's going to fall apart before anything really conjoins. But they came so close. They came so close. Here is the final recommendation from Stamets.
I was going to propose that Zora join us. Join Starfleet as a specialist. Unless...
I think it is a wonderful idea. She would be bound by the same rules that govern us all.
I'll give it my full support.
Zora, do you want to join Starfleet?
I would like that very much.
So they're going to have Zora join Starfleet. Zora is going to join Starfleet and become a part of the crew. And for all, is she going to go to Starfleet Academy? No. She's going to join as a specialist. To just give here. You're going to have a uniform? No. You're going to have a comm badge? No. Because it's whatever. She's going to just join Starfleet. It hurts. So we're going to go forward on the fact that your computer system is just another member of the crew. So how do you save that member of the crew if the ship is going to explode? We don't know. Zora decided that her form is the Discovery. They offered to put her in a body. Why they couldn't put her in a synth body? They could have, I guess. They could have put her in a synth body, but she didn't want to be in a synth body. She wanted to be in Discovery. That's her form. And whatever. So now she's joining Starfleet. Okay, but here's the one that got me.
If I hadn't changed my mind, would you really have extracted her?
My evaluation was as much about you and the others as it was about Zora. I can see now that partnership is possible on both sides. But if that hadn't been the case, I would have recommended that you be reassigned to another ship.
As it should be.
So Dr. Kovich, and in the worst line in the fucking episode, and this is character assassination of Dr. Kovich, because Dr. Kovich cannot be this stupid. Stamets asks him, would you really have extracted, would you have extracted Zora had I not changed my mind? And Dr. Kovich is supposed to come by and say this answer that at first we're supposed to be like, oh wow, how powerful, how shocking. But no, it's neither, because when you think about it for more than 1 second, it's the stupidest fucking words he could have said. So Stamets says, would you really have done this if I did this? And Dr. Kovich is like, no, this was actually also a test on you, Stamets. So had you not been okay with this, my recommendation would have been to move you, Stamets, off Discovery. And Stamets is like, as well you should have, because Stamets realizes how wrong he was for thinking logically. And he's like, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's exactly what you should have done. If I had kept to my senses and kept questioning the smartness of having a fucking identified computer life form as the ship's computer, you should have transferred me off the ship. Except Stamets is the one fucking guy that can never be transferred off Discovery. You stupid fucking morons. Did you think we're that stupid? Do you look in my fucking eyes? Alex Kurtzman, look in my eyes. whoever the fuck you are out there, do I look that fucking stupid? Fuck you! Stamets can't leave Discovery. He's the only fucking person in the only fucking show that has to be left on Discovery. You could move the entire fucking crew to the Voyager or the Nog or any of the other fuck-ton ships you might have. But Stamets has to stay with the fucking spore drive because he is the only person in Starfleet who can fly a spore drive. And Discovery is the only ship in Starfleet with a fucking spore drive. Now, yes, Book could fly the spore drive, but Book isn't in Starfleet. So what the fuck you gonna do when Book goes home? And by the way, Book leaves for the end of this episode. It ends on a cliffhanger because I don't have to do this again until February 10th because we've got 5 or so weeks before Discovery comes back. So no review next week, maybe Prodigy. This comes back February 10th. So Book is gone. So even if Book stayed, though, Book's not in Starfleet. You can't depend on Book to fly Discovery. Book would never be dependent upon to fly Discovery. So no, it is total and utter bullshit that Stamets would ever be removed from Discovery. Because then you might as well mothball Discovery. What the fuck's the point? What's the point? So fucking stupid. Dr. Kovich. You know, if you said that, Admiral Vance would fire you on the spot. He'd say you would be incapable of such incompetence. Also, at the end of the episode, Gray's going back to Trill because he's so excited to become a fucking Trill fucking specialist. So he can work in the swamps of Trill, the underground caverns of Trill, and play with the fucking symbionts all day. That's after he used Adira for getting a new body and all that stuff. He was going to love and stay with her forever. And now, or they, her, it, whatever the fuck she uses, Adira. He was going to stay with it forever. She forever. No, they. He was going to stay with they forever. And they, as soon as he got a fucking body, he's like, bye. And Adira's going to stay with him for a week. But then that's it. Oh, okay. One more for good measure. So as you know, this season, they've been trying to push Saru into a relationship with the Volk of Navarre, with the president of Navarre, who's a woman. Okay, cool. So last time on Navarre, she gave Saru some tea. And now Saru is returning the favor and giving her a present, which is a native flower from his home world. And he says, oh, it grows in the dry desert of Kaminar, so it should thrive in the hot, dry climate of Navarre.
May I ask what you are holding?
Oh, it is a gift. You honored me with salt tea on Navarre. The gel from the succulent's flowers is what gives it the tea its distinctive taste. It grows in a small equatorial desert on Kaminar, so it should thrive in the hot, dry climate of Navarre.
Thank you, Mr. Saru.
Even today, You can't take a plant from one country to another country. You can't even take some fruits from one state to another state. How are you going to give a fucking plant that doesn't exist on one world and just hand it over to the president of the other and expect them to what? To plant it? That would be a disaster. That could be an utter disaster for the ecology of their planet. I mean, if the plant does take off, it could destroy Navarre. It makes no sense. You can't even do that today. They're not going to allow people in the future to just plant fucking plants from other planets. It would destroy everything. I mean, oh my God, it'd be like planting bamboo in the southeast and it's taking the fuck over. We've learned not to do that shit today. We've learned not to do that today. Oh. Okay. And one more just very skeeved me out moment was when Stamets and Culber come to see Adira and Gray off.
I expect regular updates, and I'll see you in a week.
Okay.
I love you both.
Love you both? When did they have the time to develop love? Especially for Gray and Adira, but fine. Maybe one of them, no. You know what? There shouldn't be love. You're not a fucking family, and maybe you would have been over time, but Gray has existed for like 7 days. You don't love Gray. And if you do love Gray, you are fucked up. I'm sorry. Fucked up. That said, this has been markedly better than other shows, other episodes. So I'm going to give this a solid 3 out of 10. It was interesting, more interesting than episodes past. 3 out of 10 for ... whatever the fuck this is titled. But to connect. ... but to connect. With that all, Qapla', bird out, and I need a vacation. I guess I'm getting one too.